Hello and welcome back to Tools for Sparks, where I'm very excited to introduce you guys to the Hilti Multi-tool. Yes, that is right. Hilti finally came out with their multi-tool. People have been begging for it for years, and they've been working on it for years in the background as a top secret project. And finally it's here and available. Now, you might be wondering, how does it compare to some of the other multi-tools out there? I've tried various multi-tools over the years and I'm pretty impressed with this, but let's put it through its paces. So make sure that you subscribe, because we've got more cool tools coming very soon, but let's jump into it. So this is the Hilti SMT6-22 multi-tool. It's got Starlock fitting, which is the first thing that you'll be happy to hear about. So obviously any Starlock blades will fit in it. However, Hilti have released their own set of blades, and I must say they're superb quality. Like anything, you get what you pay for. I know that it's tempting sometimes to buy cheap inserts for products, like, you know, buy these sort of cheap multi-tool blades off Amazon for, you know, a pack of 10 for 20 quid or something like that. But they don't tend to last. What I found is if you use the Hilti blades, they do actually last. I'm just going to use the basic ones here that we most commonly would use as sparks. So this one right here is the wood. So it's just a standard wood blade, 32mm, and it's the 236-8500. Then we've got a hardwood blade here. So if you're cutting some serious wood, if you're a carpenter or something like that, but maybe as sparkies we come across a bit of oak paneling and stuff like that from time to time, you might want to use this. This is the 236-8501, again 32mm. And then of course the one that we might commonly use is for metal. So again 32mm metal blade, 236-8502. Those are the main blades that we're going to use. This is just a brand new 8500, so you can see the difference between the one that I've actually been using for a little while and the brand new one. There's not much wear and tear on the one that I've been using for a while. So how do they click in? You just pop them in there like that, and you just close this. So I'll show you that from above, like that. Clicks in, that pops open, and it holds the blade in place. It's super quick and easy, and just works. That stays on really nice. Other features on this, obviously you've got the on-off switch, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then we've got variable speed as well. So you can actually up and down the speed if we pop the battery in. Now the Neuron battery line is insanely powerful. If you are a Hilti person but you've not upgraded yet to Neuron, definitely think about it, because it's just a whole another level. And I've done a separate video about the Neuron batteries, which I will leave a card up here on the screen where you can watch that. Battery just clicks in, you've got the battery indicator as normal, and then what you can do is just turn up or down the speed. So lowest speed here. So it goes from very low oscillations to very high oscillations. Now the maximum is 20,000 oscillations per minute. Oscillation, it's quite a word that, isn't it? I like that word, oscillation. Reminds me of a weeble. Do you remember weebles? They wobble but they don't fall down. Weebles, they oscillate, just like a Hilti oscillating multi-tool does. Now, obviously you're going to use different speeds depending on the application. In terms of the oscillation speed, what you want is a high speed for wood, a lower speed for metal. The reason when you want a lower speed for metal is you want to avoid overheating, sparks, etc. So in general, I'd probably put it on the lowest speed for metal and on the highest speed for wood. But obviously it can vary. For a harder wood, you might want to go a little bit slower, because again, heat could be an issue. So if you're cutting oak, for example, you might want to go a little bit slower than the full speed. But if you're just cutting softwood like pine, probably full speed will be fine. But let's give it a go, shall we, and try a few different applications. So first, let's cut some metal. So here I have some aluminium rail, which is what we use to install solar panels. Now, I have done a demonstration of cutting this with the Hilti bandsaw, and it did melt through it like butter. Let's see how quick we can get through this with the Hilti Multi-tool. So I'm going to turn the speed right down. Now it is aluminium, so it's quite soft, so I'll probably turn it down to 2. That seems like a good speed to me. Draw a little line so that I've got something to follow. Give it a go. Okay, so that was pretty impressive. I mean, it's not obviously as smooth and straight as cutting it with the bandsaw because you're kind of working your way around it. But in terms of cutting speed, it was pretty impressive, and the blade is still in very good condition. And it's not particularly warm. This is what I like about the quality of Hilti tools, is that they take into consideration things like heat dissipation and stuff like that, which means that stuff lasts a lot longer. So things don't tend to get super hot with the Hilti tools, as far as I've noticed. But now let's take it up a level. Let's see if we can cut through some threaded rod with it. Because this is quite hard metal, I'm going to actually go right down to the lowest speed. Start again. Okay, that is pretty impressive. So it cut through, it took a little while, but it's a nice smooth cut. A little bit of heat there, but not too much. And again, the blade has not lost any teeth or anything like that. It's still as sharp looking as it was before I used it. Pretty impressed with that overall. Now obviously, realistically, you're never going to be cutting threaded rod with a multi-tool. It's just a test to really put it through its paces. But let me know in the comments what metal you would cut with your multi-tool in general. I know that various people work on different applications, and some of you guys work in different trades too. So I'd love to know what you might use this for. Now what I'm going to do is swap it out and put the wood blade on. And I'm going to go with the brand new one. So here's one I prepared earlier. I've put a square on it as if I'm cutting out a back box for a socket, which is a typical electrician application. Let's see how fast we can get through this. Boom, look at that. That literally did go through it like a hot knife through butter. Now obviously I wasn't being that careful because this is a test. I just wanted to see how quick it would go. But precision wise, considering I didn't pay that much attention and I was working at a bit of an awkward angle here on the table, I think that's pretty darn good, to be honest. It's just a testament to how powerful these blades are. I mean, it literally just melted through that wood. So for the final test, what we're going to do is put our metal blade back and we're going to cut through some cable. So this is a 6mm 3-core EV Ultra cable, NYYJ. It's not armoured. See how quick we can go through it. Yeah, I mean, I've got to say that is just so impressive. It's such a smooth cut as well, and for a system that's not designed, realistically, again, you're never going to be cutting through cables with this. Well, maybe you might actually, as it's so quick, but that is seriously impressive. And I think it's a testament to the design of this multi-tool, but also to the quality of the Hilti blades. Let's talk a bit more about the specs then, right? So if I take the battery out, I can have a look underneath. It's a 540 watt power tool. Now to put that into context, the Hilti Neuron batteries are rated as watt hours. So this one is an 85 watt hour battery. So that makes you think, okay, if this is a 540 watt tool, that's an 85 watt hour battery, how long is it going to last? In theory, if I'm calculating correct, this battery, fully charged, should last only 15 minutes running this tool at full pelt. But that doesn't quite sound right to me. That doesn't sound long enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop and have a bite to eat. We're going to leave this running and we'll time it and see how long it lasts. Wow. So, take a look at that. The battery was pretty much full and now it's half full after 30 minutes of consistent use. Now the other thing is it's quite warm, but it's not boiling. I mean, I can put my hand on it and everything. Everything is touchable still after half an hour of use. Now I appreciate that if we were putting a proper load on it by actually cutting stuff, that put a bit more resistance on this and it would probably wear down the battery a bit quicker. But that means roughly you can expect a full hour of use at full speed on one of these, the smallest battery that Hilti do. So I think that's pretty impressive. Other things to note on this, it's not that loud. I've got an Apple Watch and it warns me when there is excessive noise over a certain level because it could damage my hearing. And it's not been triggered. So I don't think that's a very scientific test of the amount of decibels that this thing chucks out. I'd still definitely recommend hearing protection when you're using it, but it's certainly not as loud as some multi-tools that I've used in the past. I mean, I have used the Makita multi-tool, I've used the Milwaukee multi-tool, and I've used the Fine multi-tool, which was always known as the sort of king of multi-tools. And to be honest, this is the best one that I've ever used in terms of speed, in terms of how quiet it is. The only thing I don't really like about it, being brutally honest, is I'm just still not 100% sold on the grip. I don't know why, but it always feels a bit awkward using it like that. And then I end up kind of holding it like this. And I'm not really sure whether that's the right way to do it or not. But that's me being a bit picky, to be honest. I don't know if it's because the batteries stick up here a little bit or why it is exactly. I mean, in terms of balance, it's very nicely balanced with the weight. So that's a good thing. But yeah, overall, an amazing bit of kit. Now, you might wonder how much does this cost? Let's have a quick look at pricing. So the price on this is actually pretty reasonable without the batteries. It's £200 for the body, one blade, a depth gauge, and the nice shiny red Hilti case for it to go in. That's with no batteries. Now I think that's pretty reasonable for a fantastic high quality tool like this. However, if you add the batteries, which the Hilti Neuron batteries are expensive, that's going to add another couple of £100 to the cost. Is it worth it? I'll let you decide, but for me, it's a fantastic bit of kit. And you know, with a multi-tool, one of the great things about it is versatility. It's such a versatile tool. I mean, I've only demonstrated cutting metal, cutting wood, cutting cable today, but obviously you can do all the other things with it that a multi-tool can do, like sanding, grinding, all of those things, scraping, all of those things that you can, do with a multi-tool that makes it so versatile. And obviously Hilti make the blades for all of those different functions and features as well. So they've got the full setup now, and I'm really glad that Hilti have entered the world of multi-tool and not just done it by halves, but they've really smashed it out of the park with this one. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.